are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vancity Beats, Eats,
and more.
We are broadcasting live on the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam,
Tsleil-Waututh,
and Squamish First Nations, what is colonially known as
Vancouver,
but what we like to call
Vancity,
My name is
Kazimi,
This is True, and I'm sitting down with
Thomas,
AKA,
Maxey,
AKA,
Thomas Maxey,
AKA,
the chess guy,
AKA,
um,
one of my coolest friends,
oh, sure,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, well, today you're in for a treat. We have quite the setup. We have quite the interview. To be quite frank, I have no idea how it's going to go. I just know that we've got chess, we've got chats, we've got snacks. We're going to shoot the sugar and get to know this wonderful, beautiful human who is a DJ, a producer, a chess... Would you consider yourself a chess master?
Connoisseurs, like maybe a bit much, so...
Okay, connoisseur.
How about enthusiast?
Enthusiast, collector, taste maker, and entrepreneur, shall we?
Ciao.
We're in the middle of a game of chess. I don't know about you, but I'm not very good at this. But I have been learning a lot from my dear and beautiful friend, Thomas Maxey. And yeah, snacks, chess, chats, is it your move or mine?
That's mine. I'm going to go here.
Well, I'm just going to go here. Thomas Maxey, my first question for you today is, tell me about the first time, your earliest memory of when, music socked you in the soul.
Oof, that's a very distinct one for me. Yeah, I had this little disco ball that was reflecting off of sunlight when I was like 5 years old. And I was playing Beat It by Michael Jackson, which, yeah, my heart is still broken.
Yo, shout outs to Q, the one and only, the legend, Quincy Jones.
Just something in that power was so instrumental that it just wrapped itself around me. And yeah, just kind of have that moment as, oh.
I never turn off my, I thought I silenced my phone and it goes off. Ignore that.
Yeah, it's just kind of like one of those moments that was like, wow, what is this thing that we can't see but we can feel so deeply? And yeah, I've just kept wanting to explore and find out more.
What kind of music did you grow up listening to in your household?
A lot of jazz and blues, a lot of funk, lots of soul.
Name me artists.
I would say like Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, John Coltrane, Ella Fitzgerald. My dad kind of like threw more like rock and pop curveballs into the mix, so he's like a big fan of the Cars and like A Flock of Seagulls and like Talk Talk. So I kind of have this like hodgepodge of like stuff that is really complex and deep and you know, focusing on like the movement, and then other stuff that's like a little bit more like, let's just focus on having a good time, you know, and just sort of like celebrating, but not really like thinking about how much impact this sound has. So yeah, kind of both those worlds have like combined into, I don't know, making something that's I guess like trying to both entertain but also like really have people think at the same time. It's kind of that like, yeah, the mix of both worlds, I guess, is like, Jamal said it best, is that I really like to play anthems. So yeah, definitely on like...
Because you grew up with anthems being played in your house.
Definitely on the anthem tips.
Are we talking on vinyl or on what was the home player?
Yeah, home player was just like a Panasonic, you know, CDs. My mom has a crazy book of CDs, like 3 separate books, just jam-packed, I think with like 100 CDs per pack. Yeah, just full of like such great music that kind of like shaped me to this person I am today.
And in the context, sidebar, it's your move.
Oh, thank you.
I took one of your guys.
Okay, copy that.
In the context of, I guess like, you know, listening to music, would it be like an intentional activity, or would it be something that your parents played in the background?
I guess a little bit of both. Maybe for dinners, it was a little bit more intentional, but when it was just kind of like around the house, milling about, it was just kind of like whatever felt good to put on at the moment.
And so then, do you remember the first time you saw a DJ?
Yes. Yeah. I think that was a Rock the Bells concert.
Oh, Rock the Bells, what a throwback!
And I saw Common do this like theater performance where he created these entire scenes around his songs.
Okay, wait, so what year was that? Was it in New York or was it California?
No.
Sidebar, quick sidebar, Sean, can you just like get my phone and silence it? That one, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't deal with hearing my own beep beep. It's like distracting. So which Rock the Bells was it?
It was in Toronto.
Oh.
Oh, God. I can't remember when this was. Maybe like 2007 or 8. It was a hot minute ago.
So you mean the first time you saw a DJ, you were like already 16, 17?
Yeah. I think something that maybe was more of like an intentional, like, oh shit, this is possible.
Yeah.
And Common's DJ, I can't remember his name, sorry, Common's DJ, but he was just doing the most insane juggling, stuff that I didn't know you could do on vinyl. And yeah, that kind of was like another little seed that planted in me to just see the complexity of how you can mix 2 records together and how you can essentially create this whole new story and conversation and like continuing what has already been made on these records, but like pushing, you know, what can potentially be the story of today. So like seeing that in a live performance with like one of my favorite rappers on the planet was very powerful.
Speaking of Common, I just started watching Silo. Have you heard of that? It's a sci-fi TV show, and he acts on it, and you can't take Common out of it. Like, you know, like I can't not see you as the rapper, you know? So then how did you start getting into DJing?
A bit of a weird trajectory for that. I kind of did... Yeah, I started with acting. I thought that was kind of my main thing.
Yeah. That was
in 2008. And I had, at the time, like, had a little, like, tiny M-Audio DJ controller. And then I was like, you know, I really don't like actors. It seems they're trying to escape themselves to be someone else, that it just wasn't like, I don't know, something that felt anchored with me. So I went to the dark side of film, being behind the camera.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean. And that like taught me so much about how to make films and just how most people don't understand the complexity and just how difficult it is to make something that not only looks good, but is worth your time to watch. So after every semester, I would always be the DJ for these film parties. And just something about being able to get people to have like such release from everything that gets bottled up throughout their days. I don't know, I really loved having that ability to just kind of like free people. So yeah, I don't think that's like what very much sort of made me feel that this is something that resonates most with me in art. Because there's many other things that I love in art that I want to pursue, but just I think the sacredness of music and just how it can literally change our mood is just something that I wanted to keep digging through, and it's like, yeah.
So you started on that controller, and then from there, how did you get into also like DJing on like Tech 12?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just kind of like throwing myself into the deep end. Like I got Serato, and then
in the box.
Yeah, and then like
back in the day,
and like a week later, I had my like first gig at Fortune, and I had no idea how using like turntables to DJ worked. I had my friend over a couple times that was trying to help me figure it out. We just couldn't. There's just little things that you need to know about DJing to kind of like go through the hoops and make sure everything works. So yeah, it took a while to kind of absorb everything, but I just wanted to throw as much gear my way as possible so I can kind of like be able to show up at a set and
know what to do.
Use another doctor's tools and go to town on a little brain surgery,
Do you have a specific moment that you remember where you're like, like this is it, like I'm in the zone, this is what I feel good about doing? Yeah,
I think there was this one particular party I was playing at my friend's place. It was just a wild house party.
Those ones are the best.
Yeah, and I just remember just like simply looking down at my hands and just feeling this spiritual content, and it just felt like very much like home. Not to be sort of cringy with using the word, but,
let's just be cringy today.
Yeah,
it's
thank
fine.
You, thank you. I don't know. It felt very natural to me to be, I don't know, being able to conduct songs for people.
Quick pause. So I've now also taken your other
pawn.
Have.
Thank you.
With my horse.
With your nene.
With my nene. Let's see. Let us do that.
I hope this crunching is really loud on the microphone.
Can you crunch as softly as possible is the question. Right. Can you ASMR your crunch? I'm going to try that. Let's see.
Sorry. It's good. Yeah.
What just happened?
I just took your...
Where?
The knight who goes knee.
Where?
Well, I was kind of hanging out here, and you were just kind of...
How did I not see that?
You were loitering. Just sort of popped up shop.
This is really hard to play. I just figured it out in like 2 minutes. It's really hard to play and conduct an interview.
Yeah, no, I think
hilarious.
You're doing great.
Well, let's just keep doing that. Your top 5 favorite DJs right now?
DJ Coco in a heartbeat. He is kind of like second to none.
Tell everybody where you saw him most recently, because that was epic.
DJ Coco at Fortune for Flip Out's 50th birthday.
Hey.
And oh my gosh, that man is not from this planet. This whole like aspect of things on Earth can't be perfect because they're too much like God was literally before us, and it was so alien, and it just didn't seem like he even was in his vessel. It just was completely some weird spiritual higher self conduit that he just jumped into. And
Homeboy was playing all 45s that he knew so well. He knew exactly where to pull it up. He was giving us a musical education of one sample into the next, and then you could hear the one that was coming up next, and you're just like, genius.
Yeah.
We need to figure out a way to get him back.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's one. And that's also Flip Out's favorite DJ, which is why he played his birthday party.
He is your DJ's favorite DJ. I kind of feel like he should take second place as well, because I did say he's second to none. So let me give you
Flip Out.
DJ Coco.
Okay, yes.
So let me give you 3, 4, and 5, if that's okay.
So you're saying Coco is 1 and 2. All right.
That's okay. I mean, I can do 2, 3, 4, 5 if you wish.
Okay, and 3 and 4 and 5?
3 would probably be like Larry Levan. 4, DJ U-Turn, one of probably the most powerful Vancouver DJs that I've seen, which again was an anchor for me to like keep pursuing music. I just have never been able to see someone adapt to a crowd quite like that. It just, his... Like he knew how to... Just, and like the song choice and the way that he mixed it, everything just was like absolute butter. And then my 5th, I'm going to say Nick Wisdom. Yeah.
Why is that?
I think
He was on season 2, by the way. Look it up.
I think he has always shown me to not care about how flush the mixes are. And every time I like hop into his ideology of like getting a little bit more free with transitions, that's when like him and I, and we're doing back to back, that we make the most crazy like things that we didn't know possible we could even do. And just I think he's just really shown me how incredible you can mix vinyl and just kind of how to like not give so much emphasis into like having stuff be really like puzzle pieced together. But I don't know, he just has a little bit more like freedom in the way that he plays, and I find that really inspiring. Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a particular memory of a time he had mixed something together that you're like,
yeah, I was playing this flip of A Time Like This by, I think it's Haywood is the artist, and he just so happened to have the original in his bag, and it was the perfect time to bring in the original as this like really chunky bass line was kind of opening up into the chorus, and the way that he flipped it in just was so seamless. And yeah, that was kind of like, you could see like how excited he was getting, because it was like, wow, this is just slipped together so beautifully, and just how excited the crowd was getting as well, just because they could like also feel like, oh, this is very similar to what we were just listening to, but it seems to be like more of the OG.
His music knowledge goes deep.
That it does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super nerd. We love that.
Yeah.
Aw. Okay, wait, tell me a bit more about U-Turn. You mentioned he's from Vancouver, but I've never heard of U-Turn before.
So he's done stuff with J-Kin. He was in a group called Oliver.
Okay.
No longer anymore. Just one of like the most down-to-earth and insanely talented producers that I think also kind of started the arts as a DJ. And just like seeing his power on a dance floor and how much he could dial in like the perfect moment is kind of like a similar testament to how he produces music, because it just is so thoughtful and robust. And he's just a wildly talented man. He lives, I think, in LA now, as most Vancouverites unfortunately do. But
it's either LA, New York, Toronto. It's okay, they'll come back.
Yeah.
You know, I also feel like eventually they do make their way back, especially with U.S. politics at the moment. You know? I would love to know, what is your process in putting together a DJ set? You know, if for a party, because you play different contexts. You play weddings or parties.
Yeah. I'm pretty over the top. I will put way more songs in a playlist than I need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is perfect and it is very flush with the given space, but yeah, I think sometimes I'll go maybe, 6-8 hours working on a playlist that I'll actually subtract the amount of sleep that I need the night before for like finding, like 150, 200 songs to throw on this playlist that are just like ideal for sort of like putting your mind into envisioning that space and what is the best frequency to play. So I'm just like usually throwing so much in that sometimes I'm putting too much in.
Yeah.
And then having to like, in this moment, go through like 200 songs that you selected that are all very appropriate for the vibe, but sometimes less is more. Shout out to Quincy. I think my process with like getting my sounds together is quite intense, but I don't know, I feel like, Scout's honor, you always want to be like as prepared as possible for a gig.
So then in the moment, you are just vibing off of one track, how it feeds off of another, like the crowd, and then you're selecting another from your crate.
Yeah, and kind of everything that I'll select is always based on the space and based on the people that I know are going to be present. So yeah, it takes a little bit of a minute to kind of like jig and find the best one, but don't know.
Thomas Maxey. Shall we?
We shall.
I think we shall.
Okay.
Maybe one more little
Yeah,
combo.
little crunch for the people.
What's this?
Oh.
More chess? More snacks? Now switching topics. I would love to know about the first time you learned to play chess.
I was in high school. My Bulgarian friend Nedelcho showed me how to play chess.
What a name!
Great man. He's currently in Sofia, Bulgaria, and has a hazelnut farm. Sorry,
Love it.
Random information, but
We love the random information.
He taught me sort of the basics, and then just absolutely in like 3 moves, completely whooped me. I just like never really messed with chess until I had some very beautiful games with Nick Wisdom, and
that's more recently.
That's more recent. This is like maybe like 2.5 years ago.
Well, because I do remember that, what was it? Not his birthday last year, but the year before that. It was like, we know we're in our 30s when the birthday party is at the park, BYO, whatever you want to bring, and that there was chess happening. And we just sat at a park bench and we were playing chess. And that's when I learned that, like, oh, it's our games era, but specifically chess.
Yeah, I mean, is it our games era? I think it's just, I don't know.
It's our game. I've been to many birthday parties at this point where it's like, we're doing wholesome games,
okay.
like just question games, board games. And you know what? I ain't mad at it because, you know, you're not exhausted from the club or from a party or just whatever.
I think that's why I've like really thought about chess so much recently, is because it's, I think, more seen as, you know, people in their plus 60s that are in a park with pigeons everywhere and like crowded around a collection of chess boards, and that's kind of, I think, where most of our minds stop. And I want to be able to create more of like an acceptance around chess for people that are in their like late teens, early 20s, to not immediately like get to that image that is in their mind whenever they think of chess, to like have it more as, I don't know, even if you're going and like getting ready to like dance and you want to have a couple drinks, and maybe a chessboard can kind of get your thoughts going if you're going through like a certain thing that you're trying to navigate through. That, I don't know, I just always feel that chess is there to kind of wash out all the stuff that is like the sediments that need to kind of get to the bottom, and the things are less murky. I feel like chess really helps to clear things
in
up.
Life. We're talking about life.
In life, or, you know, whatever this like given moment is in front of you. I don't know. I'm like trying to get out of you have to reach a certain age to play chess. I think I'm trying to like make it as like cool and as accessible as possible.
Yeah. You're trying to reach the younger demos, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, okay, you didn't quite answer my question though about like homeboy taught you, then you didn't really play, and then only in recent years through our beautiful good friend Nick Wisdom you started to play. Like, what was it about it now at this time in your life that spoke to you, that then created and started this whole thing of collecting? Yeah. Chessboards, selling chessboards, and vintage ones, and as kitschy and crazy as they can get.
Yeah. Ow. But yeah.
What do you mean, ow?
Kitschy.
Well, is kitschy a bad word?
It's like has a little bit of a.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, you know, it's not an English word that I use very often. To me, it was like kitschy as in like hipstery cute. What's your version of kitschy?
Kitschy's kind of like. What are they?
Tacky?
Not doilies. They're kind of like in the knick-knack section of vintage stores.
That's not what I meant.
Okay.
I meant like hipster vibe.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, it was just this one game with Nick late in the evening, and we had essentially a few pieces left on the board, and it was just my king chasing one of his pawns, and the like last move that I had was to prevent his pawn from promoting to a queen. And because I had that one last move to get his queen, then we were both left with 2 kings. And we're I don't know, something about the kind of like design of even the way that you assemble your pieces, and the kind of, we think about chess as a really like cerebral sport, but there's also like beautiful vignettes that you can create on chessboards that I think are really mesmerizing. And it just, I don't know, I think some of the really powerful games I had at Nick's place was enough to like really allow this seed to continue blooming. And yeah, kind of got into this wildness that it is now, that I, for some reason, felt I could be crazy enough on an artist's budget to just host free chess events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your move.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it essentially started something that you call...
No stress chess.
Which means?
Life is stressful, and maybe playing a game that is considered stressful will help mitigate that stress.
Stress plus stress doesn't equal more stress.
Yeah, it equals much less stress. Yeah.
And chess.
And chess or jazz, depending on the given parentheses for the...
Tell us the concept about no stress chess and what you were able to accomplish this summer.
Yeah, just really casual, gentle chess matches. All of these boards were featured at No Stress Chess.
Which popped up in Gastown this past summer.
But the first iteration that I had, I felt like I was a kid having a birthday party. And the time came and I was waiting for all the, doorbell sounds to ring and all these friends to come over to hang out for my, hypothetical chess birthday, and no one came.
No!
So I set up, I don't know, probably for an hour with my partner Sophia.
Yeah.
And it was just on the beach at Sunset Beach, and made little signs even, right, to put on the seawall to hope that, people would feel
comfortable enough
enticed
to come play.
Hop out of their little seawall strut, gallivant, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, meander, maybe?
Yeah, meander. Stumble upon.
But there was, I don't know, maybe like 8 people came in like almost 6 hours that I was there. And I brought this huge thing of lemon water, and I had like this dialed playlist and all these chessboards everywhere.
We were workshopping the idea. We were talking about affogatos.
Yeah, I really wanted to do just free affogatos, just randomly, being someone who is so weird that they'll just give people things for free that they've never met before. So that was my first, and I like, at the end of it was pushing this cart with like 200 pounds worth of like tables and chessboards and like sandbags up this hill, and nobody was helping me push it, and it just was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I've been focusing on music for like 15 years. Why am I taking this weird like super left turn into this dark, like dusty, cobwebbed space of chess that like
this guy got like, deep and dark with himself over just one idea.
Totally. So I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, why did I do this? And then
where did you arrive?
I did a couple more actually, and thankfully they got a little bit better. And then randomly, my friend Kazimi hit me up and was like, "Yo, I was just at the like City of Vancouver website. There's this application for people who want to have free games, just for like the Water Street pedestrians."
Yeah. Well, not free games. It was like a grant to be able to activate the space.
Thank you.
With whatever activity it was. Our friends from Hustle at Robson Square did a pop-up. Sean, right here, got to teach classes. And then I think that might have been where I heard about it. I'm not sure. City of Vancouver website probably. But anyways, and then I was like, how about you and all your chessboards? No stress chess.
Yeah, so that kind of was like, oh, wait, I can actually not just be in the negative a couple $1,000s through this, I can maybe recoup a little bit. And just seeing how emphatic people were about chess, and that this element that Vancouver needs so badly is this community and this like
Connection.
sort of like stripping away the superficial veneer that most Vancouverites are stuck in, and sort of opening up the potential of having more of an interaction with strangers. And I feel like, you know, the board game era, for sure, but I think, I don't know, chess is a really beautiful bridge between strangers. And
what's a profound interaction or a meaningful interaction you had once playing chess with a stranger?
just this incredible, like, sparkle in his eyes. Puerto Rican man was waiting for me to finish a game, because I guess he like put two and two together that I was the host of this, and so I eventually finished my game. I sat down to play with him. I was thinking that maybe he was going to play with one of his family members, because he looked good, and so we
Like
played.
he looked good, or he looked like he was good at chess?
Yeah, he looked like he was good at chess.
Got it.
And so we played a game, and within like 15, 20 moves, that was it. And then he just like very gently said, I do this full time. I'm like a level 2500, which if people don't know what that is, it's like anything over 25 or like 24 is a grandmaster. So the fact that I had created this free to join chess environment, and just randomly this person from Puerto Rico
Who's a grandmaster.
the next day was going on like a cruise with his family, just so happened to be passing through Gastown, and yeah, whooped me. And now him and I have just been like playing online, and he's taught me so much, because I don't really see me getting into like really focusing on only chess, just because nothing will kind of like challenge music. Pardon me. But yeah, just this man was so present and so sweet. I don't know, the community of people who play chess has really opened my eyes into the potential of being a human being. And I haven't met anybody who I've played chess with that kind of like makes me feel a certain way that isn't, I guess, good. There's just always like this amount of presence and awareness that I feel is really, I don't know, just needed for Vancouver. That's why just like the idea of sharing chess with strangers, I think, is a great way to kind of get away from small talk and get into stuff that's a little bit more meaningful to hope. I have a chip in my throat.
Agua.
Thank you.
Take a break. There you go. Permission granted.
Thank you. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. I believe it's also your move.
It is. Okay, thank you.
Oh.
It's a good move. We don't have to multitask if you don't want to.
Like take a moment of pause.
Yeah, I mean, if you want. I have like 12 activations of practice with this, with conversing and playing chess.
I would love for you to ask me what's in my pocket.
What is in your pocket?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
Okay.
I have some fun questions here.
Ooh.
This one's pick from the pile. Please answer truthfully and wholeheartedly, sir.
Oh, that's a one. Okay. What's the most surprising discovery you've made about myself? I don't want to be like, on the nose, so I kind of like need to think about it a little bit. I think just slowly is the fastest way to get where you want to go. And I feel like a big part of my process has been slow and like really taking my time and not feeling this like ageism that seems to be the norm for like maybe more like just North America. But yeah, just I think that the biggest discoveries is needing like the allowance and the acceptance to just like go slow. And the slower you go, it seems the more you can absorb along the way.
And move from a place of intentionality and mindfulness.
Definitely, which I think in turn helps others and like your loved ones to kind of like reassess maybe stuff that they're not really having like a more filtered thought of. They're just kind of like rushing through things, but sort of missing what, I don't know, the stopping and smelling the roses is like, you know. I think so much of being a quote unquote adult is just like, oh my God, I gotta do this and this and this and this and this, and there's just so much chaos and busyness. And what if we could transmute that busyness into something that's more like productiveness, where it doesn't matter how fast your productiveness is. You know, it can be a slow productiveness because it's still propelling you in the direction you need to go. It's just going the toot of your own horn.
Did you have something happen in your 30s that like got you to arrive to that realization?
Yeah, I feel like most of my 20s I spent listening, specifically like digging being the biggest part of listening, but I don't know, just never really being the one who would say anything in a group of friends, and just kind of like taking in everybody's personalities, but never like really inserting my own. So I feel like my 30s, I've kind of like absorbed all of the great qualities of the people around me, and now I'm feeling comfortable to share like those different elements that I've absorbed throughout my 20s of just like only kind of being quiet and to myself, to kind of, yeah, just to, I guess, be a little bit more intentional, which is like, you know, having to draw it back to chess. It's you really need to be present and see all things that are presented to you, and not feel that element of rush all the time, and really get into, I don't know, just more of a patience, and like, yeah, just really like practicing being as gentle as possible with things. And I think most of the time we're wanting to go with like what the first thing that comes to our mind is, but sometimes it's just more of like an egoic response, and kind of being able to differentiate between like what is like the spirit and what is the ego it's been kind of a beautiful thing to undress in my 30s.
Where did you develop your sense of style and taste? You know, not just in terms of like how you present yourself and what you choose, but like even in your space and the kinds of, you know, things that you collect. You have a sense of style and taste. Like, where do you feel you develop that?
I think again, it's just in like the taking your time and being slow, and not like, you know, if you think about like the rush of trends, you know, like they're coming for 6 months, a year, and it's like, it's so beautiful to see someone sort of on the like forefront of what is the latest and like hottest thing, and you see them out in their element. It's like, wow, you're like so dialed, and you're like the embodiment of like modern times. But I don't know, it just is really cool to me to just find stuff that's like a little bit more different. And what's the word you use? Not what was the word that you used?
When?
No, it was not. Damn it! There was a word that you used at the earlier part of this interview that was like the word that I wanted to bring back, but I...
Chat, snacks, chess, Thomas, that word.
No.
Or like, you know, how would you describe it, you know? Sense of taste and style. What are the things you gravitate towards collecting and getting?
I would say just like abstract would be my style. Just stuff that is, a little bit different. I don't know.
I'm gonna fill it up with words.
Thank you. Please take it away.
Earth tones, a lot of mid-century modern, a lot of like teak, a lot of oak. I made that up. I don't know, nice. But I think it's teak. You know, it's got this kind of like a walnutty color of wood. A lot of wood, a lot of greens. A lot of reds, like burnt orange kind of reds, I would say. Like your glasses. Stained glass, plants.
I found the word.
What?
Kitschy.
This guy. Thomas Maxey.
Yes.
Shall we?
We shall. Nice. Oh, yeah, you're going to take
I'm going to go here.
Okay.
Yes.
It'd be so nice if we could play some music right now.
Wouldn't it? How do you, when you're looking at the chessboard, where is it that you usually like to start? What is the strategy for anyone who hasn't?
So I like to give the king as much of a little like protection zone as possible. This is also like what grandmasters do for their first move to try to figure out what their opponent might do as their opening. This is kind of like just to see what's next. So if you never know what first move to do, just do the king side nay.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Nay.
Whoa.
And then from there?
Usually being able to get the bishop out to fuck some shit up.
We're not swearing on the show.
Sorry.
So you get the bishop out.
Yes, you get the bishop out and you take that one and that will mess up your pawn structure. Nice. Good rebound.
What do you think has been maybe one of the most impactful metaphors of life that you drew from playing chess? Or what? Could you answer that question? Because I have another question in my mind.
I mean, yeah, if you have something that's going to be even more punchy, I'm here for it.
Well, just like a moment of self-discovery and parallel of life from having played this game.
Yeah, I think just being able to zoom out from ourselves. Sometimes we immediately want to react, and that's just kind of already setting yourself up for trouble. You know, there's so much more available to just taking a moment to get out of your own way. And I think most times, specifically with my gender, there's just like this need of like immediacy, which is why this game is so great. It's like, no, just take your time. You know, I wasn't flowing in the moment of my mind just a couple seconds ago when I dropped the F-bomb. So like, you know, I gotta, again, slow down further.
You are chasing me, bruv.
Sorry.
It's fine. We'll do the dance.
Do the dance.
If you were to choose a song that would be playing right now.
That would be Do the Dance by Bohannon. Is it Do the Dance? I think it is Do the Dance.
Ooh, you trapped me, haven't you? Because if I move there, you can kill me here.
I mean, kill's pretty...
You know, knock me over,
Kill's pretty harsh.
Take my nay-nay. If I go here, your nay-nay can take my nay-nay.
Yeah, you're in a bit of a buckle.
I'm in a...
But you could think about maybe being like, oh, well, I'm going to do something to your bigger piece, which I don't think...
I can.
You can.
I cannot.
Yeah.
You literally have trapped me.
There's a lot of dancing on the board there.
There's a lot of dancing, because I go here, you can, and then here you can. So really,
You might have to sacrifice.
no.
Or you can just
Or-
go, yeah, you just go that. And
If I
then
do and then you
it's-
do, then.
it's not the greatest for you. It's probably the best bet.
But we both
of them
lost
all.
5 points, is what happened.
3 points.
3 points.
For those at home, 5 points,
Yep.
1 point, 3 points, 3 points. Infinity, 9 points. There is a point system. Not many people know that, like myself.
I think it was my dad who first taught me how to play chess.
Hmm.
Yeah. It came in tandem with learning to play checkers,
Perfect.
which I can't recall which I much rather preferred. But I think we should do this, Maxey.
Yeah.
Yes. Quick pause. We like us an interactive cheese ball situation.
You know, I never had these as a kid.
You never? It has
I
this-
saw children with them, and they would throw the wax at me later. But that was
was
about
so rude.
the extent of it.
Cheers.
Oh,
So
was
you
I
can-
supposed to keep that in there?
Well, you
oh,
could.
Sorry.
You know,
Again,
it could be a moment. Like, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Little soft cheese. Right? Oh, fun. Something that, you know, because I haven't really been like, that's what you did, right? I haven't been super into chess. I only started getting to play it because of you and because you teach me along the way, which I'm very grateful and it's helpful.
Happy to be here.
Something I learned about myself while playing with you, and that felt like was a metaphor to life, is that I make moves very reminiscent to how I actually make moves in life. Which, like, sure, there are probably people who are thinking like so many steps ahead and with this kind of like, for lack of a better word, manipulation tactic of like, I'm gonna set you up to choose this spot and then I trap you because I trap, what do you call this? I manipulated you into that move, you know? I don't even think I see that because I don't play enough or know the rules enough to, you know? But I flow with the moment
Yeah.
and then end up in situations where I have won the game, very surprisingly.
Your intuition's great.
You know, and that I end up in situations where I have taken big risks and it's either paid off or game done. This is very much so like my life. Yeah. And
That's
you're
great.
the one who pointed that out to me. You were like, huh,
Yeah. Yeah, you're a wave rider.
I am a wave rider. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's dance.
Whoa. You want to do that?
I don't? ¿Por qué?
So, it's on this guy.
Yeah.
I got this guy there too.
Yeah.
If you do that, I just
Yeah.
take the pawn as checkmate. I don't want.
Oh,
that.
I
And I-
see.
and I don't-
And the horse as
I-
well.
I don't want that for you.
Okay.
So I would, in my humble opinion,
Okay.
go here. But you know, I want you to live your life as well.
I will say yes to that if
Okay.
you answer my next question.
Ooh, another one?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm gonna go with the one that's most out. Tell me about one of the best gifts you've ever given or received.
Put that one in your pocket.
Okay. I feel like if my family already knows what my answer would be for this one, and I feel like I should share it because it's quite funny.
Go.
But I really wanted an N64
Oh, yes.
for Christmas when I was maybe just 10.
Because what game did you want to play on it? Or games?
Mario Kart was
Yes.
probably the biggest one. Also, like Super Mario, just playing that in Future Shop. So I know that's a bit of a
Throwback. Before Best Buy.
Before Best Buy. And anyways, I want it so bad, and my parents were like, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. Like, please stop asking. Because of course, you know, it's like the age-old thing. All your friends have it, and you're bored of having to always go over to their place, and you know, like you just need the home console. Mm. So this one Christmas, I was just nonstop about it, and we opened up all the presents. Of course, there was no N64, and so I was just like devastated. Which is like, you know, the only really thing that wraps around your mind as a small child is just like, what can I like get for birthdays or Christmas?
Yeah.
And so my parents could like kind of tell, and my mom was like, well, just, I don't know, look around and see if you can find it. And so she had created all of these already owned Lego pieces that were already constructed, and she would wrap them up in wrapping paper and like hid them in assorted places in my house.
Oh my god!
And so I opened it up and it was like, oh cool, like it's Lego that I already own. Like thanks mom. And then like finally one of the presents that I opened was this N64, and I just absolutely like lost my mind. So I think that was probably the most impactful of just like sharing something as a kid. Because it's usually the stuff that we remember the most, but
I think it's my favorite console.
Yeah, it's very special.
I mean, innovative in design. That was the first that we saw the little
joystick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how about a present that you gave?
I feel like I don't have an answer immediately, but maybe I'll have something for you in a couple days. Pardon me, because I've given a lot of presents, but just it's not really sticking to me. What is the most satisfying or like exciting to give someone else? So I've given a lot of presents to Sophia, and I'm trying to think what present I've given her that is the most like exciting for her.
Would you say that's your love language?
My love language is actually words of affirmation.
Oh, to give or to receive?
Both. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about you? What's your love language?
Yeah, words of affirmation are important. Quality time is actually really important. I mean, we all, to some degree, need all of them. But yeah, I would say quality time, words of affirmation. Those might be because presence, like having time with somebody and experiencing their presence, their attention, it's like, that's a gift. And it doesn't lie.
No.
You know? Your move.
It's my move again. Okay. I'm going to say... Shit, that might be it. Oh, wait, no, it's not quite it. You have one move. I'm sorry.
I have one move, which is that. No.
I think that's your only...
That's my only choice?
I'm sorry.
And then the game is over.
No. You can still waddle.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fine. Waddle we shall.
But I sacrificed one of my pieces for the waddle.
Right. Now you are there.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, if you want to, you don't have to. But if you want to.
well, there's no other way about it.
Well, if you do that, then I'll be taking what was forgot in the back.
Right. Because if I go here, you could go there.
Yeah.
Or you could go there.
Yeah, and if you go here with your rook,
Yeah.
well, then I can take the pawn. So it might be best to take the nene. Sorry. That's fine.
Let's get dramatic with these big pieces.
That's great. So I'm just going to kind of complete the order here.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is this for me? Wow.
That's for you.
Oh, no, this is yours. Sorry. It's...
Just take the straw out. It's fine.
I'll let myself out.
Oh, I want you to answer another one of my fun questions.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like these?
They're great.
Okay. I'll give you one if you let me take 2 moves.
Sure.
Yes. So, my first move will be
If you went back about 10 years in time, what one change would you have altered what one change would have altered the trajectory of your life?
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
So 10 years ago,
I
you
would
would
be
be
26.
Yes, it would have been the year of 2014.
Oh my God. Yeah, Hollywood over here. One decision that would have changed the trajectory of my life 10 years ago. Yeah, these are questions that they're so intentional. I think the immediate response doesn't match the question.
How about this other question? Is there a world in which, throughout the trajectory of your lifetime that you see now, that you would not have chosen DJing, that you would not have chosen music production, that you would not have chosen?
I think maybe if I was less aware and more just sort of abiding by the way our species lives, I would have become an actor and just kind of like lived in that sort of escaping myself to be someone else veneer. But
I can relate.
Something about musicians being able to essentially hang their dirty laundry invisibly for us to be like, oh my God, I experienced the exact same thing. This song is literally written to me, but it was written, even before I was born. And just like, I don't know, having awareness to kind of dig a little bit deeper. Not to say that like acting is not a worthwhile endeavor, like it totally is, but I just feel now what we're seeing with film, it's like it's very redundant and kind of like derivative, and the stuff is just kind of, let's revamp a book, or like, a movie that was made in the 60s and like put a modern spin on it, and I don't know, it just wasn't really something that I could like see myself fully getting into. But if I didn't have the like willingness to, I guess, be a little bit more curious and like really, I don't know, being, I guess, aware, I would have been an actor, and I would have probably never met you.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you think an actor living in LA type vibe, doing that circuit?
Yeah, just like not really doing anything to change our species, just kind of distracting our species. And I don't know, I think there needs to be a lot more intention with like community and seeing what we can do to just randomly help other people that we would never cross paths with. Because I mean, after Tuesday, we need this more than ever. Yeah.
What is the message you think the world needs to hear right now? Or a message that the world needs to hear right now?
Do random things for free. And just realize that people who pass you, even just walking past on the sidewalk, are someone who could potentially change your life. And so being open to every person in your orbit, and yeah, just like being willing enough to just bake banana bread and go out randomly on the street and just give people free food. I don't know, just having a real sort of, I guess, just delivery of like doing something that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah.
That makes me smile because you're one of my most generous friends, you know?
Thank
and
you.
you do that coming from a place of like authenticity, just to share, just to give, just to be kind. What album or track do you feel exemplifies that sentiment?
This artist called Popcorn, and this song's called A Song for You. That is, yeah, very much that same focus of someone has spent so much time to work on something for you because they like see you and they hear you and they understand you. That this song specifically is just so wrapped around that world of just this infinite giving and never having anything in life that is seen as adversity to ever change that potency. Sorry to use your word. Just because, yeah, there's like this need to really get out of this individualism and hop into how can we collaborate and be more collective and, yeah, just kind of get out of this and into this. I think is very dire for our species right now.
With that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we just do like a dance. I'll just go there. But yeah, you have some options.
I'm gonna go there.
That's a good option. I feel like you have something else.
What it? Well, I made that move, so.
Oh, no, I meant like something else to say.
In one sentence, Thomas Maxey. Wait, oh, I see. What do you dream about?
What do I dream about?
In one sentence.
As in my actual dreams, or this sort of utopia of the future dream?
Yeah, your dreams for the creative evolution, the creative survival, the creative evolution of Vancity. Let's say that.
Yeah, sorry, you're still in Czech. I didn't say Czech because it's
What?
You were, yeah.
Ah! That you rude. Should have said that.
Fine. One sentence. You don't want to do that.
Ah!
You do the white closer to your queen. It's a little bit more of a nice nook.
This?
No.
This.
No, your lad.
Yes.
Yeah.
There. There.
One over. Oof, that's
No, that's Crazy Town. What are we talking about here?
right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fine.
One sentence dream. I guess that's not good for you either. Sorry, I'm both thinking about trying to help you out and this answer to the question.
It should be the first thing that pops up into your mind.
But I'm trying to make it not more than one sentence as well. It's yeah.
Fine, you can have 2 sentences.
Thank you. I had something, but then I got into chess mode, so I lost it. I'd say just like realizing that Vancouver actually has crazy potential, but we just need enough of us to be able to band together and bring that potential into reality.
So the potential as the dream is
having one giant space where all creative endeavors, maybe not only, so I think in the little bio that I gave you, I was speaking more for arts, but like, yeah, not only for the arts, but for the other side of the coin of science as well. And just having this one place where it doesn't cost people anything to come and like have an event or have a market or, you know, have a dance session or like have improv classes, like everything for people who are wanting to do something that normally costs money, I think should be entirely for free. And I want to be able to create that melting pot of just a giant space for people that don't have good circumstance and they're really like stuck by being hand to mouth, and I really want to kind of like use my privilege to allow others to pursue what they know they need to do, but they can't because they're stuck in circumstance. That's kind of like my dream for Vancouver, because I think unfortunately there's like any big city, there's this sort of like dog eat dog mentality. But I don't know, I think being able to like really be gentle with others that are living a completely non-understandable, they just can't like, I can't imagine what they go through, and having something that is like the spot where they can just be like, oh my God, I can actually breathe, just because whatever I'm having to do, 5-6 days of the week, I don't have to be subject to anymore, and I can really feel like that what I have inside of me can finally be let out
and expressed.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's cheers. Thomas Maxey, our hour is up. We have played chess, 3 different boards. I would like to condense my lessons from this conversation as go slow, smell the flowers, be present. Kitschy is kind of a tacky word. Not hipster cool, like I thought. And that chess is for the young, the old, the mids. It's for everyone. And it is life.
Nice.
Yes?
Beautiful.
To everyone who's been watching, thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 3 of season 3. I have been with Thomas Maxey. My name is Kazi, and this has been Vancity. Beats, eats, and
More?